Nothing makes me happier than Alabama losing, possibly besides South Carolina losing. But as a Clemson fan, I've grown to hate Alabama due to all of our duels.
Yep.
And shout out Brent Venables, because even though you left Clemson, you're doing God's work for us over there in Oklahoma. Oklahoma smacks down Alabama 24-3. The first time Bama has held under 17 points all season, only the second time they've scored under 27 points. Crazy defensive performance from Oklahoma.
Yep.
I think whatever that is, they're going to study that.
Yeah.
You know, see what happens for Alabama. Maybe Alabama sneaks in the playoffs. Whoever plays them is going to watch this game tape and only this game tape, because they did something to completely neutralize Bama's offense in a way we haven't seen. They're 8-3 now, out of SEC contention for the SEC championship.
Bye-bye.
You know, they're still plus 210 to make the college football playoffs in the world that some other teams lose. So, Ryan, I want to start with you. I know you still think Bama has a shot, but what did you see from Bama this weekend, or what didn't you see, I should say, when this blowout happened?
I think it was just a really good spot for Oklahoma. They had all the tools. Their coach Venables finally did what we've been waiting for almost when he got that money 2 years ago.
Good thing he wasn't fired like Mike was called.
Yeah, good call. You know?
He's definitely not fired now.
I don't think he's going to get fired.
No, Mike, that was sharp.
But yeah, I think it was a really good
Venables.
spot, and I think actually the biggest point was their freshman quarterback Jackson Arnold, sophomore, not turning over the ball. He ran for 130 yards and was just like doing stuff to win the game and letting the defense just cook, not trying to overwork or do anything crazy.
Yeah.
Because their offense isn't good at all. Like they have no weapons, and the whole team is.
Did you see his rushing stats?
Yeah, it was
Jackson
ridiculous.
Arnold, 25 carries, 131 yards
Yeah.
on Bama's defense.
Oh.
And then the running back had 18 for 107 and 2 touchdowns.
No.
Brent Venables threw the ball 11 times. Arnold he completed 9 of 11 for 60 yards. They literally ran the ball every play and then just played defense. It was the most beautiful game script I've ever seen.
No, it was great. And also, as soon as you turn on the game, all they talked about was Oklahoma out 5 guards, 6 wide receivers, 1 running back.
Only one starter on the offensive line.
I'm saying, so when you see that and it's this dominant of a running game, there's a game plan that just got murdered by Alabama.
Yeah.
And I don't know, whatever it
He
was.
saw something in
Brent
this
Venables
defense.
saw something and did an amazing job and just saw a hole in Bama's defense and exploited the shit out of it. I mean, this was crazy. In a million years, I would never guess this would happen. So I don't know what happened to Milroe, whatever Oklahoma did, but like Alabama's in some serious trouble for their future if they don't turn
100%.
around or do something.
Yeah, I can't remember a time when Bama got blown out and only scored 3 points. Like, I didn't look up the last time they'd scored 3
Was it
points in a
Clemson?
blowout loss. No, they lost to Clemson 13 to like 41, I think. Or
that's
16 to
fine.
41 in the Natty. That was like the biggest blowout I remember for Bama. But I can't remember a time Bama scored 3 points.
Hasn't
Never.
didn't score a touchdown.
Yeah,
Like,
they
I
didn't
mean,
score a touchdown.
They should have had 10.
Oh, yeah, they did get
Yeah,
screwed.
That
I
was
agree.
one
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
most.
Yeah, they should
It
have.
might have changed the game a little bit.
SEC
Would've won
refs
score.
this season have been pretty awful throughout. I mean, the call in that Texas game where they threw the
Yep.
shit on the field and they reversed it.
Yeah,
SEC
true.
refing has been very strange.
And
that's
this
been-
was the same crew as that crew.
Yeah, no, they're terrible.
They wanted to reverse their call because they all conversed, called that penalty, whatever, and then they conversed again. And I felt like they had. I mean, I don't know this, but
Well, it's because they didn't throw shit on the field because it was Oklahoma. If
Yeah.
it was Bama, they reversed
But I'm
it.
just saying, I feel like they got together and they all knew they messed up and they were
Yeah.
trying to think of a way to like reverse it, but you
Yeah.
can't. Yeah, that was a belligerent call.
Yeah, I want to hear what you thought about the game, but quickly I'll just say Milroe's stats because we talked obviously the rushing for Oklahoma. Oklahoma 49 carries, 260 yards, averaging 5.3 per carry
absurd.
and 2 touchdowns. I mean, dominant. Milroe 11 of 26 passing, 164 yards, 0 touchdowns, 3 picks, 15 carries, 7 yards, 0 touchdowns.
Legacy.
What did you see there? I mean, it was. I'd never seen a game like this. They rushed for 70, threw for 160.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that Oklahoma won the game or even that Milroe struggled. I'm just surprised, like you guys have been touching on, the whole rushing attack from Oklahoma. I just didn't think they'd be that effective for 4 quarters and be able to keep. You would think like DeBoer would make some sort of adjustment or something, but they couldn't. So shout out to Oklahoma. But this Bama team, and I've said it before weeks ago, is just Milroe. The thing with him is if he's dialed in on his like intermediate passing, like he is actually like, in my opinion, like unguardable for college defenses. The problem is he just is super, super inconsistent with his reads. He doesn't anticipate anything. Everything's reactionary from him. He has a good deep ball and he can throw screens. That's pretty much all he could do. Oklahoma basically said, hey, we're not going to give up a deep ball. They just guarded Ryan Williams, and they were like, hey, if you're going to beat us doing 15, 20-yard passes in the middle, like over linebackers and fitting it into tight
layer it
windows,
in, yeah.
then Milroe's going to win this game. But he can't do that consistently. He can't really go through progressions.
I think this hurt his NFL stock quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, you just saw that exploited. Venables basically said Milroe win the game passing, and he can't do that. So,
Yeah. Mike, you're obviously a Texas fan, so you hate Oklahoma, but I feel like a part of you probably liked Bama losing as well.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted both of these teams to lose if I could have had that happen. But to be honest, like, I think you guys covered a lot about the Oklahoma game. I won't really repeat too much, but like overall, you know, I said this preseason too. I knew, or I kind of thought that Kalen DeBoer wouldn't be a good fit at Alabama because of his coaching style, the way that Washington played in the Pac-12 last year. He had an amazing run last year. Went literally undefeated in the regular season. Got them to a natty. Very admirable. They went into a SEC. They beat Georgia. Very admirable. But again, you know, you get later into a season and it almost becomes a stamina thing. And it's actually what everybody said about Texas going into the SEC, and I think it's similar for him as a coach.
Because first year.
It's your first year. You don't know what it's like to play every single week in games that are that tough. And you see it with, you know, the last 5 years, the last 5 weeks that DeBoer coached at Washington, he won 52 of 42 against USC, 35-28 Utah, 22-20 against Oregon State. Washington State, he won 24-21, Oregon 34-31. All of those games unbelievably close, and not only are they close, but their opponent is giving up, or they allow their opponents to score a lot. He has never been a defensive-minded coach, and so when you are solely focused on kind of overly creative offensive plays that will be very dynamic, usually hard to scheme against, but if you get schemed against, you're done. He's never cared about, again, it's similar to Lincoln Riley. He doesn't care about defense. It's evident. I think not only did he do a bad job with the defense side of it and just sustaining the energy of the team throughout the season, but also one of the problems with Alabama as a total is their use of, or their lack of effectiveness with their running backs. They have two unbelievably talented running backs in Jam and who's the other guy? Yeah, Haynes. And, you know, I think they both have just over 500 rushing yards or something like that. Like, not impressive stats for two guys who probably would be starters on any other
Haynes
team.
has 428. Miller has 557. And Milroe has their leading rusher with 600.
That's crazy. I mean, the fact that all of his offense is designed around Milroe
It's strictly Jalen Milroe.
is crazy. And so the lack of, I guess, complexity or dynamacy with that offense makes it easier to scheme against. His offensive line has never been good this entire season. So all Venables had to do is put some pressure on Milroe. Exactly what Mario
one
said.
thing
I mean,
Venables likes to do is
he
blitz
loves to
every
put pressure. He loves to blitz those quarterbacks. And DeBoer had no idea how to scheme against that type of defense because he's never cared. He's never played against that type of team before. He's only played in easy, weak Pac-12 teams and easy, weak Pac-12 defenses.
I think he saw that type of defense once earlier this season in the Tennessee game, and they lost that one as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, he has no ability to adjust, in my opinion. So
That was the biggest thing. He just couldn't make adjustments. That was just the most surprising thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's a good fit.
And everyone's saying they have a shot to make the college football playoff still. I'd throw a wrench in that a little bit. I also think I wouldn't give them the Iron Bowl against Auburn this week as a gimme. Auburn just won in quadruple overtime against A&M. Yeah. The Iron Bowl has had some of the craziest finishes we've ever seen.
When was the last time Alabama actually lost it, though?
I don't know. I can look it up.
Probably been like 7-8 years.
I mean, last year they should have lost it.
They should have,
with
but
the
then Isaiah Bond won in the last.
No, I mean these are all talking about. This is going to be in Bama. I think it's the first time. It's a little different story.
Yeah, I don't think it.
2019 is their last loss.
So 5 years ago, I guess that's not crazy.
This is not a Saban-led team, but
Alabama will definitely dominate that game.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I mean, I think we covered it well. Mike, I actually agree with you on the Kalen DeBoer thing. And you've seen a lot on social media, and I'm sure a lot more internally, kind of questioning that decision to go with him, kind of similar to the way Mario questioned the Brian Kelly hire, where it's a guy that doesn't necessarily fit the same way. I mean, you saw in even preseason with Bama, they were having Roll Tide Willie at the practice, hitting the pads and all the selfies and like Bama, like players doing TikToks and stuff. Like, do you think Nick Saban would have allowed that? No, he completely changed the culture. And I think a lot of the fans, as well as what I'm assuming is the alumni, are not only not happy with the output of the score, but kind of the way it's trending with the team. Mm-hmm. But it'll be interesting to see. I mean, if you're a Bama fan or you hate Bama, let us know what you think in the comments. This will be one of the more interesting teams, I think, to follow in the next week or two as everything shakes out. If they let them in with 3 losses, I'm sure there'll be plenty of 2-loss teams to have something to say about that.
Oh, it'd be great.
And that'll be the headlines all over ESPN. But, they have the youngest player in college football. So at the end of the day, ESPN wants him.
True.
Yeah. Ryan?
Oh.
In case you didn't know, Ryan Williams is 17.
Yeah.
In case you didn't know, Ryan Williams is the youngest Alabama player to ever lose against
2 unranked
Oklahoma.
teams. And two unranked teams. So congrats to Ryan Williams.
yeah,
I'm sure he'll do a
shout out
TikTok
him.
to it and celebrate. But we'll see on the next one.